to penetrate, and we know that sunlight is very important in the photosynthesis. So that is why we are able to observe a lot of organisms there from the producers. Of course, when you have lots of producers, will follow the the primary consumers and so on and so forth. Okay. Then we have despotic. Miss Duray, Mr. Duray.
Good afternoon, sir.
I Miss Duray, day, sorry.
This photic zone. It extends from the lower limit of the euphotic zone around 200 meters to about 1,000 meters or 3,280
Ay,
feet.
nako.
Mhm.
Receives minimal sunlight
Yawa.
insufficient for photosynthesis but enough to influence the behavior of some organisms. Lastly, it
Este,
also
oy.
acts as a transitional area between the photic and aphotic zones and supports species adapted to low light conditions.
Okay, so they'll go a little bit deeper. The sunlight that can penetrate will definitely be reduced, and so less activities, less photosynthetic activities, and it follows. You go from the trophic levels. You start with um, the the producers, and everything else will follow. So in this layer, reduced number of organisms because of the lack of sunlight. But of course, there are some sunlight. However, because of the nature of the activities, there are also some special characteristics now of the organisms that are adapted to this kind of conditions, low light conditions. Okay, next, a photic zone.
Ay, kakapo.
Miss Miss
Good
Logo.
afternoon, sir.
Yes.
A photic zone begins around 1,000 meters and extends to the ocean floor. No sunlight reaches this zone. It houses a dark, cold, and high pressure environment and relies on organic matter falling from upper layers or marine snow for sustenance.
Okay. So, mo ni siyang area nga dark, no? And that this is where you can also find unique adaptations, and often in the form of fluorescence, kanang glow in the dark kind of characteristics. But apart from the source of energy nga kana ganing giyon nilang marine snow kanang mo fall nga mga organic matters, there are some areas in the deep seas, in the abyssal zone or kaning mga ngit-ngit kaayo nga naapod sila yung sources of energy, especially on the volcanic belt, volcanic vents, nga volcanic vents down there where there quite like energy dito, not only the sunlight but as well the energy, chemical energy from the volcanic vents in the deep sea, especially in the abyssal zone ng ngit-ngit kayo. All right? Then, factors. Of course, these are the factors that affect the marine ecosystem. Availability of light is primary, as characterized by the different layers of the oceans. You have the first 200 meters na highly active in photosynthesis, and then as you go down, reduced. And of course, the second factor is the proximity to land. So areas to the lands are rich in nutrients, like kumakuan, no? Daghan mga nutrients that will actually be carried by the water into the ocean. So that's also nutrient rich. And then as well, the depth of water is also a factor in the marine ecosystem. So these are the three major factors affecting the marine ecosystems. Then variants in ecosystem can be open marine ecosystems so this is also called as euphotic zone, which extends up to the depth of around 150, but actually uh, it's an estimate between 150 and 200. And then open marine ecosystem includes types of sea life that float or swim, such as the planktons, the algae, the jellyfish, and even the whales. No, so there are many different kinds of organisms there. Even the dolphins. Dali lang naglobat ko. And then for the ocean floor ecosystem, that's a lot. There are also many different organisms that survive there. So mga benthic organisms, for example, no? Marine life exists not only in the open seas but as well in the benthic zone, which is the floor of the oceans. Being, as mentioned in the slide, being at great depth, sunlight cannot penetrate on this region, and organisms inhabiting this area rely on the sinking of organic matter above for survival. They call that the, sa to ilang term, marine snow. No, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. So it's getting nagfall on organic matters, and the areas, these areas daw kay dependent on that nutrients coming from the above. So examples of the ocean floor can be uh, uh, the organisms there that you can find in the floor. Ay, kailangan. Sorry, okay lang. Naka-enroll na ka? Also man ang inyong letter? Ah, oo, katulad ang pro sa may giingon ani oo, kay last naman ini mo. Sige, all the best ha. Thank you. Okay, so the example of those kay crabs, the jellyfish, the squids, sometimes the corals in the ocean, no, in the ocean ecosystem. You know, you have the sperm whales as well, the big ones. Okay, so estuaries. So estuaries, those are the mouths of the river. Ako sa i kuan diri ang ako ang kay maputol niya ta. The mouth of the river where the seawater and the freshwater kay nag-abot, no? Kinsa may familiar na og estuarine or brackish water, sometimes we call it brackish water. The interesting characteristic of the freshwater is the salinity is highly fluctuating, no? Kung during rainy season, the salinity goes down because there are volumes of fresh water going to the ocean, and that area, the mouth of the river, becomes uh, low in salinity. But during dry season, only a less of fresh water coming into the ocean, and most of the seawater are rushing into the mouth of the river. That area is highly salty. But of course, it's not as salty as the ocean because there are also still inputs of the fresh water, no? So fluctuating, so very extreme yang salinity. Then, so this aquatic ecosystem is also representing the what we call ecotone, no? Ecotone, in other words, a transition zone. In the land, there are also transition zones. There are also ecotones. Like, for example, those areas, areas where the forest and the grassland meet. So that edge, no, the edge is also considered as an ecotone. And if you notice, the kind of organisms at the edge are kind of different as compared to those in the inside of the forest. So practically, it's sometimes referred to as because of the edge effect. No, it's the edge effect. And when you go to the grassland, the kind of grasses at the transition and the boundary are a little bit different from those grasslands in the middle of the area of the grass. No? And then, so example of these estuaries na kay mga lagoons, deltas, and tidal marshes as well. And important ni sila nga kind
Ay, di ba sila?
of organisms, coastal bays, no? The coastal bays because the coastal bays kay the tributaries from the land, so input of the water, so the salinity is also affected and the nutrient availability as well. Then you have generally, when you say biodiversity, it is generally higher than both the freshwater and the marine water ecosystem. And this is characteristics of both the ecosystems. So that's an interesting information, no? Um, in a general consideration, estuaries have more organisms. It's like enjoying the best of both worlds. Nag-ingon ana nga kind of thing, no? Ang estuaries because it's in the middle of the terrestrial and no, freshwater and the marine ecosystem. So it's enjoying the both worlds. So that's why it's harboring more organisms as compared to the individual freshwater and freshwater only. In terms of biodiversity, no, not in terms of the amount, but rather the number of species, not the number of individuals of a given species. Example is Manila Bay, you have the Batan Bay Estuary, and even the Puerto Princesa underground river is estuary
Estuary.
is considered as such, no? Okay, kung mag-high tide, musod man ang water inside the underground river. Okay, coral reefs. I think you're all familiar with the coral reefs, commonly known as the rainforests of the sea, are some of the most diverse and productive ecosystems on the planet. And they are complex and diverse underwater ecosystems formed by the calcium carbonate skeletons secreted by tiny marine organisms called the coral polyps. So, when kag corals, ang main jud ana is the coral polyps, but of course they cannot survive without their
Wala gid siya na wala
symbiotic
kay, I mean,
partner, the
suspicious. Like,
zooxanthellae. So
it
i-type ninyo
is. And it's
zooxanthellae
funny.
ang
Okay,
kani
sorry.
siya. Ang iyang partner kay
Buko man
zooxanthellae.
siya.
Ana,
Buko dyan yung mga taong in love.
muna iyang
Never.
partner. Nya mo ni siya ang gahatag actually og color. Ayan. Gahatag og color sa coral reef na yung kind of bluish, pinkish, and ana. And of course, together with this the coral reefs, na some other organisms. Ang some organisms that you can actually find in the coral reefs na siya sa mga movies like the sea anemone. And then sa sea anemone kasi nagsigig higda-higda sa sea anemone or sea anemone, sea katong silang kasi ganito
Clownfish, sir.
Nemo.
The Nemo.
Oo, sa to si the
Nemo,
clownfish.
sir.
The clownfish. Silang Nemo kung napa sa movies. Yes, and there are also a lot of soft corals. There are also sponges, no? And many other organisms. It the area, the coral reef ecosystem is so diverse that it is also tagged as or named as rainforest of the sea, because the rainforest, tropical rainforests in particular, are very diverse. So when they found out the coral reef is similar, so it's the coral reef or the same forest of the seas. Okay, coastal ecosystem. Sa coastal ecosystems, diri mosulod actually ang mga um, mangrove forests and also the intertidal flat. Intertidal flat is just so sad that kanaganing na ay mga mangrove reforestation. Ang area mo nga mga intertidal flat, it's lapok, but no mangroves. So, but it is actually a different and unique ecosystem and is equally important. That's where you can find the many kanaganing mga egrets na sila og pangaon sa mga lapok-lapok because there are a lot of organisms living there. So atong gibuhat sa atong mangrove reforestation kay bakante pa siya, gituslokan nato og mga propagules. Kay magtanom lagi tag mangroves. That is a malpractice in mangrove reforestation. In fact, nag-issue ang nag-article si Primavera, no? Kanang malpractices na siya sa sa mangrove reforestation. The best thing to do is you go historical before planting any mangroves in a vacant area in the in the coastal area. You have to go back to the history. Naa ba na yung mga mangrove sa una or basig for the longest time is an intertidal flat. Intertidal flat is a different kind of ecosystem. Instead of makaayo, we're actually eliminating a different type of ecosystem, no? So nagpadako na sa itong mangroves, pero we are wiping a different kind of ecosystem, which is intertidal flat. So always remember that you go historical. Check the history of the area kung naa ba na daghang mangrove plants in the area, because possibly that is a different kind of ecosystem, which is an intertidal plant, then it is equally diverse. Dila to makita, wala lang kayo plants, but they are of different nature. Um, And of course, sometimes the organic materials in the intertidal flood comes from the mangrove forest, but it's this big. Paliwanag siya sa seagrasses. If you go beyond, there are seagrasses. There are, connections between the different ecosystems.